Good afternoon. Congratulations, Sarah, and happy birthday. Dr. Estep, distinguished guests, respected faculty and staff, family members and friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. My name is Daniel Brothers. It's an honor to share my journey to graduation. Henry Ford said, "Anyone who stops learning is old, whether it be at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young." As one of the older graduates today, I'm doing my best to stay young. My fellow graduates, how many of you thought this would never happen? How many of you, How many of you thought you would never achieve a college degree? Well, true confession, I was one of them. And today, at 61 years old, I will march to officially receive mine. My quest for a degree began back in the 1970s, a time when many of you here today had not yet been born. I grew up in a suburb outside of Boston, the oldest of 5 children of a working-class family. My dad was a milkman and worked other odd jobs to provide for us. He was the hardest working man I've ever met in my life. Sadly, he passed away suddenly during my junior year of high school. He was only 37 years old. My mom raised us 5 children, who at the time of my dad's death ranged from the ages of 6 to 17. I am proud to often speak of my 3 brothers and sister and how we, despite overwhelming odds, have all become respectful adults and have raised beautiful families. We all made sacrifices for our families. After 1 year at a brick and mortar college, I gave up the traditional path to a college degree and left school. The lack of financial resources and the need to be home to grieve the loss of my father were the main reasons I gave up at that point. To go through what we did at such young ages was very difficult. As far as college goes, I plan to go back at some point. And my message to many of you out there in the same situation, do it now. Going back is difficult. Life gets in the way, and you always find a reason not to go back. Personally, it haunted me for a long time. It prohibited me from applying for positions that require a degree. But I always felt like something was missing. I was incomplete. There was an emptiness inside of me. Something that happened next helped put me back on the journey to a degree. Several years ago, I received an award for coaching high school lacrosse. The local newspaper sent a reporter out to write an article about me. After an extensive interview, he commented that there wasn't much I hadn't done in my career. I replied how I had never earned a college degree. His response, "Well, why not now?" Those words, Doug Hastings, stuck in my head. It was shortly thereafter I came across an advertisement for Western Governors University. The time was right. The time was now. If this was ever going to happen, I would have to be the one to make it happen. I enrolled and started immediately on my first course. I discovered I loved learning. I attacked each class as an opportunity to learn something new. However, as we all know, it was not always a smooth road. We all faced obstacles in getting here today. Never enough time, studying on lunch breaks, family commitments, late nights and early morning studying, proctored exams, and life in general. In my weekly meetings with my program mentor, we discussed these challenges. I often spoke about these obstacles and told him I could see a light at the end of the tunnel. However, I always felt this proverbial light was a freight train ready to run over my dream. My mentors always encouraged me that this light would one day be symbolic of one of the greatest accomplishments of my life. To Rakim Fields, Mindy Rogo, and Ann Mackin, I thank you for your constant encouragement. I don't think our program mentors get nearly enough credit for helping us along this journey. When the pandemic started, I was on a semester break. But while the world was shutting down, I decided it was time to reopen my WGU world and get back into my studies. I found a way to turn the pandemic into a positive. As a practicing night owl, I would wake up each day at 5 a.m. to log into my course of study. As I came closer to the end, I found my work to become easier. I found more time to complete the tasks. And when my capstone turned green, signifying completion, I was still in disbelief that I was finished. But on November 11th, 2021, it became reality. The email finally arrived. The email confirmed that I had completed the requirements for my bachelor's degree. I had completed the journey. I was overcome with emotions. The late great Hall of Fame basketball coach Jim Valvano, during his ESPY Awards speech, commented how there are 3 things you should do every day: think, laugh, and cry. He would say if you did all 3, that would be a full day. As I sat in my office after receiving that email, I did all 3. I thought about my journey, and honestly, I laughed how long it took. But my thoughts brought me to tears about what I had accomplished. I'd like to thank the mentors and all the staff at WGU who gave me this opportunity. Western Governors University was the perfect institution for me. I'd like to thank my family, my wife Carol, who was my biggest supporter throughout this journey, my son Mark, and my future, thank you. My son Mark, my future daughter-in-law Molly, my son Patrick and his girlfriend Renata, all of whom will celebrate with me today. My fellow graduates, do not take lightly what you have accomplished. It is a monumental accomplishment. Course mentor Frank Sampietro always reminded students they now have transformed the answer to a previously uncomfortable question to a single word. Do you have your bachelor's degree? And that answer now is a simple yes. And today, 43 years after walking across the stage to receive my high school diploma, I get to walk across this stage with all of you as college graduates. Congratulations and thank you.